Welcome into the locker room. May the fourth be with you. Coming up on the show, El Clásico is less than 48 hours away. We will be hearing from our team in Barcelona. We'll give our thoughts on the Champions League final between Real Madrid and Liverpool. And we ask if defensive dominance will win out in the Europa League final. Now, if the panel were Star Wars cast members, we've decided that Bobo Vieri would be Han Solo. Ray Hudson.
Why?
Yoda, you are.
Han Solo
You're Yoda.
with him. Yeah, very good. Han Solo. I'm Yoda.
You're Yoda. The wise one.
Ray, the girl, man. Ray.
Right,
You want to be the
Ray.
girl, rather?
No, I'll stick with Yoda. I'll stick with Yoda.
Rongan's Jar Jar Binks. And Gary, you are C-3PO.
Who's that?
Am I the robot?
That's out of order,
Now,
Tommy.
do
You're
not
better
even
looking than
assume-
Jar Jar Binks, that
Oh, I
lad.
don't know.
Do not even assume that I'm Princess Leia, because on this show tonight, I'm Darth Vader, so Thomas, beware.
The Force.
Okay, we have got a big beIN Sports presence in Barcelona ahead of the game. Ken Egan and Jamie Easton can join us now to discuss fitness, the future, what this Clásico means for Ernesto Valverde, and whether it's the last time we see a certain trio. Kevin.
Yeah, cheers, Kay. Welcome into sunny Barcelona.
It's like Dublin.
It's like Dublin, isn't it? All right, the big news on the ground. Andres Iniesta trained today. Crucial for Barcelona. The fans at the Camp Nou want to give him the tribute that he deserves. He signed back in 1996 as a young kid, Jamie. So for you, as someone who lives in Barcelona, this will be a huge moment.
Yeah, that's great news for Barcelona fans, because everybody wanted to see Barcelona captain playing his last Clásico at the Camp Nou, giving all the homage he has to be given. And somebody in Spain is even talking, will there be a guard of honor, but not from Real Madrid players towards Barcelona players, but from Barca and Real Madrid players towards Iniesta. It's in all the media in Spain, and there's some controversy as well around that.
Yeah, Rafael Varane, in terms of Real Madrid, is currently looking doubtful, as is Isco, though. And we'd love to see Isco on the same pitch as Iniesta for Iniesta's final Clásico, because there's lots of talk here that, in many ways, he is the heir to Andres Iniesta's throne.
Yeah, every sees Isco as Iniesta's replacement, is talking about the Spanish national team, but there's another name they're putting out, and this Marco Asensio.
Okay.
You know him?
I do.
Yeah.
I do, fair enough. Ernesto Valverde. Many people talking about the importance of this Clásico. For Ernesto Valverde, it's absolutely huge. He's got that unbeaten streak, Jamie, but there's also the cups that are hanging over him. That loss to Espanyol very late on in the Copa del Rey, as well as obviously the game against Roma in the Champions League.
Yeah, but it seems like Ernesto Valverde is being criticised in Barcelona, but he has been hugely criticised for what happened in Rome. Somebody still doesn't forgive that. But the thing is that if you take a look at the whole season, when he started, they promised him a better squad. Neymar left, and the Super Cup against Real Madrid in August was awful for Barcelona. Nobody knew here in Barcelona. In fact, they would always say Barcelona will win no trophies this season, and they win a double. It's a historic double, so take some credit.
Is this the last time we'll see the BBC in a Clásico?
It can be the last time, yeah. I'm sure it will be the last time, in fact.
What, are you friends with Florentino Perez?
Close.
Gareth Bale, contract to 2022, he looks set to leave. Karim Benzema, though, phenomenal performance against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Maybe a few games to go to convince Los Blancos that he should stay.
I really don't know that, but I've been following Real Madrid throughout the season. He has been booed and whistled every single time at the Bernabeu, but the last game, he was the best player for Real Madrid against Bayern Munich. Probably they are in the final because of Karim Benzema. So I don't know if that will change Real Madrid's plans.
Okay, we're in the early hours of Saturday morning here in Barcelona, meaning it's Clásico weekend. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Kevin and Jamie. Christian Vieri, is this the Madrid side? Is this Madrid side the one to bring an end to Barcelona's unbeaten run?
I tell you the truth, I don't care. They won the league, Barcelona. Who cares? Of course you're going to play. You got 110,000 people watching at the stadium. It's going to be packed out. It's a Clásico. But they won the league. They won the Copa del Rey. You want to win the game because you don't want to lose against Real Madrid. Okay? But if they lose, nothing's going to happen.
I think the narrative on this game, though, is that
not just on the result, but the fact that, well, it is the result that's all that's going to matter in this game. But I think for Barcelona, they want to really rub it into Real Madrid's face, that they're the champions of Spain, but in an authoritative way. And it's Real Madrid's got the opportunity to really stick their finger in the eye of this Barcelona team by tripping them up and stopping that unbeaten run. I mean, that is meaningful. How much does it mean more for Barcelona over Real Madrid? I actually think it does mean more for Barcelona. I think they'll be really primed. They're catching Real Madrid emotionally off an unbelievable high. The third Champions League, they're a little bit tired physically. This is an opportunity for Barcelona to really put the flaming spear in the ground.
I agree with you 100%. I think important for Valverde, because if he gets the win, maybe people will eventually go, you know what, it has been a good season. If they get a really good win, and then you assume they remain unbeaten to the end of the season. 2 wins, 2 solid wins over Real Madrid. And it'll be 18 points that they would be ahead of Real Madrid, the biggest margin ever.
So who cares?
The fans care, the players care.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. It will be meaningful if Barcelona make it an authoritative win. It'll make. I totally agree, Tommy.
You used the word beauty. It's the total opposite. It's the most functional, consistently ruthless team in La Liga that I've seen in 10 years of Barcelona. Yes, they're undefeated. Well done, and I mean that sincerely. But you know what? They're not fun to watch anymore with the occasion that they're really on. Valverde in that 4-4-2 right now, let's be real honest, he mismanaged his team throughout the season. Is being undefeated that important? The reason why they lost in Roma was because Messi-dependent team, when he's off, which he was in that game, and you don't use a sub till the 80th minute, and your starting 11 is poor, then you can talk about, you know what, this season might not be great. Saying that, the double is pretty darn good, but you know what? You talk about Barcelona wants to put in a knife, Real Madrid wants to do. How great for Madrid to win this game.
Messi dependent, and you could say Real Madrid or Ronaldo dependent.
So
without Ronaldo playing well,
Ronaldo didn't score, by the way.
If Real Madrid want to put in the knife,
against Bayern,
we're 3 weeks away from the Champions League final. Should Zidane be resting some of his big names?
Well, he's going to see them. He saw them today. He's going to see them tomorrow, and then he's going to decide. I think no one's going to play that's not feeling good or have a little bit of injury problems. He's got to think about, for me, if I'm a coach, okay, Sunday's an important game, okay, but in 15, 20 days, I got the biggest game of the season. 4 Champions League finals in 5 years. Right. That's what counts. So I'm going to prepare. Of course, Sunday, but I've got in 20 days, biggest match of the year.
And this isn't the only game that Real Madrid have got a tough game on their hands. They've got 3 tough away games at Barcelona, at Sevilla, and Celta and Villarreal as well. Celta Vigo.
Do they care about those matches?
That's the thing.
But Sevilla doesn't mean anything.
So,
no,
this does.
But
this weekend
fitness
does.
of players, injuries, niggling injuries, he's not going to take a risk. And Rocky is right. They're going to play their best 11 because they want to win. On Wednesday, you know what? They fly from Barcelona, 6 guys, back to Madrid, forget about going to Sevilla, and then at home, we'll figure it out again. So Zidane is in a good position also to figure out what is my best right back if Carvajal cannot play in the finals.
Yeah, that's good luck with that one. I mean, the way Vasquez played in the head to bring Modric back to cover him. But again, credit to Zidane on how he's massaged this team throughout the season. And the priority has been the Champions League. They have denied it, but we all know that it's true. They've had 32 players that he's used this season, and he's done it wonderfully.
Could he perhaps throw Bale in for this match? Could he? Because Bale's ready to go. Maybe it's one of those matches where you want to rest someone and you chuck him on and say, all right, I'm unleashing you, show me what you can
release the hound.
Release the hounds. We put the question to our followers on Twitter. Should Zidane use a full-strength 11 for El Clásico? Yes, go for it. 54% still voting no. And no, keep the players rested. So it's almost evenly balanced. Thanks for all your answers. Cliff Cobland said yes, plenty of time to recover. Diana Hayden, of course he should use the full team. Hit the opposition with both barrels.
Can I just say it as well for all the viewers watching that are fans of Spanish football, give yourselves a pat on the back, because this again has proved that Spanish football is the best in Europe. It is the best. It's been the era of 10 years of Spanish dominance. They've had 30 European finals in 10 years.
Wow.
There's been 22 Spanish football teams in those games. It's amazing. They're there every year. Atleti's done it again. And Real Madrid.
Madrid's on fire.
Madrid are
España.
conquerors of the world.
Okay, El Clásico always boasting the world's best outfield players, but let's talk about the goalkeepers. Who's the best keeper, Ter Stegen or Keylor Navas? Gary?
It's very close. They're two fantastic keepers. I would probably just go to Stegen because while they both make great saves, Ter Stegen's better in the air. He's stronger, he's more dominant, he's got a better organised defence. But Keylor does make some wonderful reflex saves. But if looking over a season, I would just go for Ter Stegen.
I think Ter Stegen has improved this season, and he's had to because they have needed him. For me, Keylor Navas. I mean, this is the perfect goalkeeper for Real Madrid. His dynamism on the line, off of the line, making the dynamic types of saves when his team are found out. Because this Real Madrid team, they show those vulnerabilities consistently. And consistently, the Costa Rica man has been there every time to save them and keep them in games and letting Cristiano and the rest to win. All the time, Thomas. He's the most underrated goalkeeper in the world.
Why do we still hear the talk of David De Gea?
Because they're
Why is it
idiots.
still being questioned?
Because De Gea is just phenomenal. I mean, he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, you can also pick one or two errors, not many, but Juventus, third goal, spills a bad one. Yeah. It's just that David De Gea has...
Well, he doesn't make mistakes.
He does. That's the problem with him.
Everyone makes mistakes, Gary.
Over a season.
Everyone makes mistakes during a season. Goalkeepers, defenders, strikers, midfielders.
If you look at the
coaches, presidents, everyone.
Look at the top 5 keepers in the world. Keylor, for me, wouldn't be at number 1. You would have the De Geas, you would have the Neuers, assuming he's fit. You'd even have Oblak above him. So while he's maybe top 5, I don't think he's better than some of the others.
You want to talk about his size, maybe, Gary Bailey? I hear that. He's a small goalkeeper. In the modern game, he can exist, but not reflexes.
He's not good on crosses.
He wouldn't make the saves if he wasn't that diminutive. He really wouldn't.
Absolutely
I mean,
right.
he's put this club has put the faith in Keylor, and he has backed them up all the time. I get what you're saying, Gary, and I think either it'll be Courtois, in all likelihood, that will come to Real Madrid, and but the president is saying Keylor's not going.
You've got to speak with the coach because he decides. There's no president, there's no director, there's no. The coach decides if he wants Navas or he wants something else.
Zidane.
I text him last night at 5 in the morning.
Thinks. Anyway, this weekend we have all the best sporting action from the Iberian Peninsula. 3 major sporting events, and we have them all. We start with the Madrid Open coverage on Saturday. That's followed by MotoGP from Jerez as Marc Marquez looks for a win on home soil to kick Sunday off. And of course, El Clásico from the Camp Nou. It's Barcelona against Real Madrid. Now, the conversation about Real Madrid continues after the break as we turn our attention to the Champions League final. Welcome back to the locker room. Time to focus on the Champions League. And before we do get to the final, we want to talk about what it means to suffer in football. We hear it a lot, and basically it's soaking up the pressure, it's riding the storm. We've seen teams like beIN be dominant over Real Madrid in that second leg, and Real Madrid still come through it. Juve's come back against Inter the other day, and maybe on the other hand, teams like Napoli who don't know how to suffer. So what does it mean when coaches say this, how to suffer?
Well,
how do you suffer?
I'd pick out the words mentally strong, because when you suffer, you're closing down, you're chasing, you're organising, but all the time you have to be thinking. You go there, you go there. So it's mentally draining to be defending the whole time. And I was going to say, and I've played in matches like the FA Cup final, 85, when we had a player send off, we're down to 10 men. You can tell if your team is mentally tough. You can tell if they're prepared to put their bodies on the line. And that's where Atleti amazed me, is week after week, they can do that. What are you smiling at?
I don't know why he's
I'm laughing because I was thinking, you suffer when you get married? And when you
Oh, is that? Well, I think they want to know about the soccer suffering.
Yeah, how would you know?
I asked you guys.
Yeah, well said, Kay.
My wife wants to talk to you.
Back,
Go on then. So what's suffering?
I think it's more physically than mentally. And you know what? When Fausto Coppi, the great Tour de France rider, I said one time, you have to suffer. I think he might be the first one. I saw Eddie Merckx in the Tour de France. My dad took me to southern France to follow the Tour. I looked at this guy coming up that hill and I said, that's suffering. He is in pain. How can he endure this? The lactic acid is just burning right now.
Mental,
and
then?
he keep going. No, that's physical.
No, but your brain has to overcome that.
It becomes mental. What I did with my teams, 3 days with the Navy SEALs. Right?
Yeah.
Minute and a half underwater. You can't handle it, you're off my team.
You can't handle it, you drown.
Exactly. And
Bobo,
I swear to God. And I'll take him to Montana, Bobo.
What is this?
You
Where
must
do you
have
guys
been
come
in
from?
a team. Bobo, you must have been in a team
No,
that
of
suffered.
course. But coaches, when they say that, that means that, of course, during 90 minutes, you can't attack the whole game. So you're going to have those 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour where the other team's coming at you.
Right.
So you got to defend as a team.
Exactly.
You're going to suffer. Physically, maybe the team's not in a good,
Right.
good position.
I think when
you're not in
Klopp-
good form, and you
when-
just, all together,
Yes.
just
Sure.
keeping them out
It's-
of your area of the 18-yard box, the goal, not conceding, just.
Like when Thomas is talking about the Tour de France, and those lads know they're going to suffer. That's all part of the conditioning. I think when Klopp said it to Liverpool, when he said we're going to be prepared to go into Roma and face the hammers of hell, and we will be prepared to suffer. We will suffer
As a team.
As a team,
Yes, yes,
and he knows that this team, that force is going to come at you. So we've got to be prepared. I think it's the expression as well, as we were talking earlier. There's different ways of preparing your players. They know they're going to suffer.
And there's no teams anymore where you play and you have the ball 90 minutes and the other team doesn't attack. Everyone, like Bayern had Real Madrid in their 18-yard box for 45 minutes.
Sure.
The snake pit Rinus Migos put us through, and we threw up, and we had cramp, and we had to pull each other up to continue to go. That's Pavlov dog theory, all right? Reinforcing yourself. You can do it. You're 1-0 down. You are with 10 men. You got to go like you and win the game.
It's got to be
Is this soccer?
now. Real Madrid and Liverpool
Snake pit.
are this season's Champions League finalists, but we aren't going to ask you who's going to win because we've got loads of time to do that. Instead, we're asking if the two are deserving of their spot in the final. Ray?
They're totally deserving of their place in the final because the best team wins and all the rest of it is truly gossip. But there's so many other teams, Juventus, Manchester City, Juve, that can look up and say, we deserved to be there. They didn't get the calls, there was bad luck involved, on and on, but you cannot take it away. These two teams deserve to be there for sure, but hey, listen, if we look at it through a different set of prisms, there's teams that really... Bayern Munich, how the hell did I leave Bayern Munich out? Bayern Munich deserved to be in the Champions League final, but
it's a bit of luck
they
as
didn't
well,
do
isn't it? It's a bit of luck, because you think of PSG, Neymar gets injured, and if he doesn't get injured, they might go through. Manchester City lost at Anfield 4-3 the first time. If they only lost 4-3, they could have overturned a comeback.
If I win the lottery,
I know,
you know where I am now?
There you go.
I'm just saying that I think Real Madrid is a team that deserves it more than everyone. Why? Because they beat the French champions, the German champions, and the Italian champions.
Yes, well said.
They beat three fantastic teams.
Yep.
And it's nice to see refreshing that Liverpool is there, by the way. Liverpool's got more goals than any other team. The trident of Liverpool, all right, which is the FMS, Firmino, Salah, and Mane, okay? They have, write it down, 29 goals. More than the BBC had, by the way, in 2013-14, when they had 28. So this is the best trident in soccer. And Klopp, it's heavy metal football, baby. We go forward, all right? High intensity burst to suffocate the opponent. No playmaker. Who's the playmaker for Liverpool? You know what? Gegenpressing is the playmaker. Win the ball, going forward, and then take your rest when you have the ball as well.
The complete nature of Liverpool Football Club isn't always totally reliant on them front three. But that is exactly what Thomas is saying. You look at Van Dijk, the incredible reaction that he has taken place. He looks cheap at the money that they paid him. It really does. The goalkeeper worries me really badly, Gary. He really does. But the front three are the difference makers. And if Real Madrid aren't super sharp, This team will punish them.
And I think,
Any one of the three
I
that
think
Thomas
credit
mentioned.
also to Klopp, because Real Madrid have the money to buy the best players in most positions. But this Trent Alexander-Arnold, where did he come
Well
from?
said. Academy.
Yeah, the academy. Karius, even though he's been
Andy
a bit
Robertson.
on and off. Andy Robertson. So you're looking at Klopp going, he's achieved this fantastic, to get to the final.
Amazing.
Wonderful. They're brilliant going forward, and
So let
he's
me
had to
ask you
buy
this, Gary.
cleverly and bring in
Last
kids.
The coach of the year, Zidane or Klopp?
Depends who wins it.
Klopp.
Yeah, depends who wins it.
Leading assist men in the Champions League right now.
Yeah.
Tell me, who?
Right, Liverpool.
James Milner. James Milner. That sums it up pretty much.
Newcastle United, baby.
I hate to say it.
This is something that will please you, Christian. Don't worry. Lots of
Blitzkrieg.
Italian football coming up on beIN Sports this weekend. Juve against Bologna. Juve 2 wins from their 7th straight Scudetto. Napoli against Torino. Napoli can do their part, but they will have to hope that Juve slip. Now, when we return, we'll discuss the Europa League final in our international connection.
This segment is brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925.
Our international connection is brought to you by Modelo, and it's La Liga against Ligue 1. Defence versus dynamism, Atleti versus Marseille. Will Simeone's defensive dominance win 1-0, or will it be OM? Gary Bailey.
Not just to the defence, Griezmann and Costa, Atleti to win.
Thomas.
35 shutouts, but you know what? Thauvin and Payet are going to tear that team apart.
Thierry.
Clear.
2-1 Atletico.
Yeah.
Ray.
I cannot remember what I said.
I think you said Marseille.
Payet and Rudi
Marseille.
Garcia.
Marseille, yeah.
You picked Rudi Garcia, the coach.
Because of
Okay,
Thauvin.
what do you reckon?
I used to live around the corner from
Sorry.
the Vicente Calderon. I love the city of Madrid. I'm going for
Yes,
Atleti.
there we go.
So we have got Camp Nou this weekend. We've got Kevin Egan there with Chappie Ferrer. We'll all be involved in the studio. Ray in the booth. We've got our predictions for you as well. George DiMattalis is in New York for beIN Sports Special La Liga Watch Party too. So let's get your predictions on this one, starting with you actually, Thierry.
3-1 Barcelona.
Ray.
I'm calling the game, so I'm doing a draw.
Fair enough. Neutral is allowed. Gary.
And Ronaldo
Gary?
2-1 scores the
Me,
winner.
I'm going
Guys, Di Stefano.
Barcelona.
Gary says Barca.
Yeah,
Rangan
no
says
question. And what do you say?
Real Madrid.
I said
And
Madrid.
in the interests of balance, I did go for Barca, but now I'm going for Real Madrid, which isn't a good
Yeah.
sign because Rangan and I both went for Arsenal. Bye. See you next time.
See you next year.
Game knows game, baby.
This segment was brought to you by Modelo Especial, brewed with a fighting spirit since 1925.